minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
The Nephilim, creations whose credibility has been questioned throughout the ages, spawned from ungodly unification. They were said to reach heights of 450 feet, resulting in man emulating a grasshopper in their presence. They have tormented man during the course of creation, and their existence and effect on the world is believed to be the reason for the biblical flood. In this video, I am to discuss the Nephilim with the goal to entice people to read the works within the Bible so that they may follow more closely the Word of God. If you enjoyed the contents of this video, please remember to like, and if you'd want to see more, subscribe. First, we will begin by not discussing the origins of the Nephilim, but how their story has been used as inspiration within modern media. Diablo is not only the Spanish name for devil, but also is a popular franchise created by Blizzard Entertainment. The first installment released in 1996 and has since received a continuation of related games, with the fourth installment releasing on the 6th of June, 2023. The realm that humans reside in is called Sanctuary. It was created by a rogue angel named Inarius and his demon confidant Lilith. They led their faction of angels and demons, and with the use of the World Stone, they hoped Sanctuary would be a place of refuge from the great eternal conflict. The act of love between Inarius and Lilith bore new creations into this new world, and so that it was, the Nephilim came into being. For our next example, we take a brief look at another video game franchise called Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry, or more commonly known as DMC, was released by Capcom on August 23, 2001. It, like Diablo, continued to have subsequent sequels, whose latest release, DMC 5,
Having problems with my internet. Hang on. Okay, hold on a second. Recording. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, here we go.
DMC 5 hit stores on March 8, 2019. Within Devil May Cry, the Nephilim are again a race of hybrid beings. They were the result of the unification between angels and demons and are known as the third race. However, despite being equally powerful than either race alone, the Nephilim are a severely endangered species, as any and all known existing Nephilim were hunted down and slain by demons out of fear of their power. Only two Nephilim are known to still exist, this being Dante and Virgil, the twin sons of Sparda and Eva. Lastly, we take a look at a personal favorite of mine, Darksiders. Darksiders was first released on January 5, 2010, developed by Vigil Games. The latest release for Darksiders was Genesis on December 5, 2019. Each game has its own individual protagonist: war, death, fury, and strife, these being the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The four horsemen belong to an ancient and nearly extinct race called the Nephilim. Their existence is the direct result of a union between angels and demons, engineered by the demoness Lilith. The four horsemen defected to the Charred Council, and with the help of the Hellguard, they slaughtered their brothers and sisters, successfully ceasing the Nephilim's world-burning crusade of all known realms and creations. With these three examples, you will hopefully realize the impact that the story of the Nephilim has had in creating these well-known franchises. Also, You would have hopefully picked up on the similarities between each game's creation myths, as of course they are all pulling from the same sources. Now we shall move on to those sources. The Book of Enoch was written by a man named Enoch. Enoch was the son of Jared, the father of Methuselah, and the great-grandfather of Noah. Enoch is said to have lived 365 years, and that he never died. God is said to have took him away up unto the heavens, where he remains today. 1, 2, and 3 of Enoch's texts contain subheadings: the similitudes of Enoch, the book of the parables of Enoch, the book of the giants, the book of dream visions, and the book of watchers. Enoch is mentioned by name within the Holy Bible, and his texts on creation share many common accounts and terminology as seen within the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 6 verse 1 to 4 tells the reader that the Nephilim were the products of copulation between the sons of God and the daughters of Adam. The sons of God referring to angels, as the fallen ones, and the daughters of Adam referring to human women. 200 angels are said to have descended from heaven to the earth, and instead of carrying out God's will to observe and aid the humans positively, they fell for the beauty of their Lord's creations. The watchers wished to look with their hands and not their eyes, leading them to tell their human charges of techniques and technologies that were not intended to be known. The watchers taught the early humans of weapons, cosmetics, cosmology, mirrors, sorcery, and much more. The most notable of the fallen angels are named Shemihaza, this one being their leader, Artikoph, Remashel, Kokabel, Armumahel, Ramel, Danel, Zekel, Mani, Matarel, Ananel, Setawel, Samshiel, Sariel, Tumiel, Turiel, and Yehadiel. The 200 fallen ones are said to be also responsible for not only interbreeding with human women, but carrying out genetic perversions, resulting in the defilement of God's creatures of land and of the sea. This and the other listed practices of the Watchers have led people to believe that the Anunnaki of the ancient Sumerians were some of these angels. With the earth perverted, God flooded its face. However, the creations spawned by the intermingling between heaven and earth survived. Similar to how the 200 angels are referred to as giants, by country of origin, and even by men of renown. The latter is speculated to be chosen as the concept of demigods and is frequent within the ancient world. The strength granted to individuals who were the product of heaven and earth led them to be great heroes and legends. However, these individuals did not belong to God and his people. They were worshipped and remembered by pagan beliefs, and so the Bible references these as men of renown. The use of men, and not giants, may also be the product of the variety of shapes and sizes that the Nephilim came in. Some, as previously mentioned, were recorded to be 450 feet tall. However, some were also said to be 7 or 9 feet tall, which to the people at the time would have made these giants more human when compared to the other Nephilim of other regions. These regions are mentioned by name or by the people that descended from there. Some of these mentioned people and places within the Bible are the Anakites, the Amites, the Rephaim, and Philistine. Philistine contained a city named Gath, and from Gath is where a well-known giant came from. This giant was named Goliath. According to the Masoretic text, he is recorded as being 9 feet and 9 inches tall. As we know, David would defeat Goliath, spawning the tale of the underdog. In modern times, Goliath's defeat would be less about David, and more to do with Goliath's mutations. It is theorized that Goliath suffered from pituitary gland dysfunction. This theory is further supported by Goliath's third unnamed son, who had 6 fingers on every hand and foot. All this to help explain away the presence of giants, resulting in their existence being a product of mutated genes. However, we know this to not be necessarily untrue. the difference being that their existence is a direct result of intermingling between heavenly seed and earthly bodies, and not due to errors in human genetics, a byproduct of the theory of evolution. Returning to Enoch, within his second book, we see the name Grigori. This name is taken to be the same as the Watchers of Book 1. The Grigori are located in the fifth heaven and are described as being human-like in appearance, but that they are of a size that is greater than that of great giants. Due to their defilement of earthly creations, they have been confined to the least magnificent out of all the layers of heaven. Enoch asks the angels who accompanied him during this heavenly visit why the Grigori are found here, with their expression withered and silent. They told of how the Grigori were once led by a prince named Satanael, and that they went down to earth against God's will. The inclusion of the name Satanael has birthed beliefs that this is a form of Satan, as Satanael is mentioned within the second book of Enoch, to have been cast off from a great height, along with his angels. These slight and major differences between the books of Enoch and the Bible have led many to believe that Enoch's works are non-canonical. The interests in the works of Enoch received a revival when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. In 1947, a shepherd of the Tamira tribe left his flock of sheep and goats to search for a stray. He stumbled upon a cave and threw a stone into its face, and was startled by the sudden sound of broken pottery. He investigated, only to discover the find of the century. Inside were intact jars that held scrolls which were blackened with age. However, this would not be the only time the works of Enoch would become lost, as in 1773 rediscovery also occurred. The reason for this brief focus on the history surrounding Enoch's works is because of this history. Its validity is questioned. During the early days of the Christian Church, Enoch's works were considered canon. However, due to the interference of man's best interests, the Book of Enoch was not merely rejected as canonical, it was denounced as heresy. It began to be banned, suppressed, vilified, and was thought to be destroyed in secret. Hence its discovery and rediscovery over the many years. The life and writings of Enoch deserves its own video, and if interested, let me know if you'd like to see me tackle that subject. To conclude, the story of the Nephilim is one of fascination and intrigue. Its suppression and rediscovery only helps fan the flames of Enoch's works. The Watchers tasked with guiding humanity sought to touch the image of God with their own hands. They were filled with temptation and desire, and by indulging in lust, they became fallen, no longer heavenly, but instead sinful, like the offspring of Adam and Eve. They taught their charges the secrets of forbidden knowledge, and once spoken, it could not be unheard. Their seed created strength that towered over man. The face of the earth became ravaged by their exploits, and humans became hunted, driven to near extinction. God looked upon the earth and saw only wickedness, for the evil hands of his fallen angels had not only defiled the humans, but every species of animal. He sought to flood the face, with only Noah and his family being saved. But, the Nephilim maintained, did these giants the size of mountains survive the flood? Or did the angels meddling in genetic structure mean that the gene of gigantism was hidden away in Noah's family, ready to reappear through his offspring? As mentioned in the beginning of this video, the aim is to get you interested in the works of the Bible. If your interest has been piqued, then please read the original text yourself. Do not rely on the commentary of man to form your opinion, as God has no agenda, only truth. If you have any suggestions on what subjects relating to the Bible that you'd like to see me tackle, then please comment down below. Similarly, if you have additional commentary on the Nephilim, please leave a comment. I look forward to reading them. I thank God for the strengthening of my faith and putting it on my heart the need to spread his word through the form of learning and research. If you're familiar with the channel due to my Dark Souls lore content, then that is not being replaced.